So you're going to start with just a few summary of what I'm going to be talking about here, but I want to show code, of course. So I'm Bruno Borges. I work at Microsoft. Uh, Microsoft has a Java team, so that's cool. And we have our JDK. We built Microsoft built in JDK, and um, we have a bunch of Java features in Visual Studio Code. One recent feature that we added is a plugin called GitHub Copilot App Modernization, which helps upgrade Java, upgrade Spring, upgrade libraries and frameworks in the code using a combination of AI and tools and locally. I'll just skip over this and even before showing the tool, one thing that GitHub Copilot with Visual Studio Code have, the combination offers is personalized code and workflow with custom instructions. So imagine like prompts that can be reusable. You just leave them in the repo of your project. And whenever you want to run that recipe, that cookbook, you can just refer to that prompt and then provide just some arguments to it. So imagine like it's the source code of a program that the LLM will execute. It's a prompt. But a lot of those custom instructions, they can also be used as hints for activities that you can do, for tasks that you can provide the agent with. So there is prompt files that can be easily referred to. There is custom instructions that will be used as context for the tasks, and then Copilot will use those instructions depending on the context. If I'm editing a Java file, I'm going to use these instructions. If I'm editing an XML file, I'm going to use this instruction. There's also a global file for generic instructions. And then there's also custom modes, which is imagine like you define your own agent and that gives you a custom mode. Like you can imagine like my agent just for Maven things. You can have this file full of instructions just for Maven. If you have some ideas, there's a repo called Awesome Copilot that can can help find out what the community has been sharing in terms of custom instructions and personalized code workflows. But prompts alone are not really great for modernization because prompts alone means the LLM will have to do the entire work. But code bases are large. They have like hundreds of files, sometimes even thousands of files. We cannot expect the LLM to modernize all of those files with speed, with quality, and with determinism. So deterministic tools are critical. If I'm going to do a grep on a word in a file, I need the grep to be deterministic, cannot be wrong, right? So if I want to refactor a method on a class, I want that method to be refactored on all other files that use that method, right? So that is what deterministic tools are about. It's regular expressions, it's string manipulation, etc. So what this tool does is a combination of AI and deterministic tools to modify files at scale in your project. We have support for Java and .NET. And recently we added support for Java also in IntelliJ. So this just came out a few weeks ago. I haven't even had the time to test myself, but I heard the guys at Sweep are really fans of IntelliJ and JetBrains. So you guys test it and let me know. All right. So how does it work? Like, what is an app modernization flow looks like? We start with the assessment, which is a static tool, deterministic tool that do a static analysis of the source code and finds patterns of code, sometimes bad code, sometimes code that you actually don't want anymore because it's not cloudy for a cloud native deployment. You know, imagine a code that refers to a local host server. I mean, you won't have local host because your app will be running in a container and that thing will be running elsewhere in another container. So if it finds a local host URL, it's going to highlight that in the assessment report. The other thing is the upgrade. Now, here is where we have the combination of deterministic tools and AI to modernize the code. Migration, I will not be demonstrating migration now because not everything means running on Azure, but that's the focus here for migration. How do I make my application containerized and ready to be deployed in the cloud? Here's a more detailed flow. So what happens here is the assessment looks at language and frameworks, platform-specific dependencies, CVEs, and all kind of quirks that you want to get rid of. So identifies what's going on with the application and then provides recommendations. And recommendation includes, here's the file that needs to be fixed. Here's the line that you should look into. And here's a recommendation on how you should fix that, which the AI later may use that recommendation to provide an implementation. And then as we go through upgrade, migrate, etc., the AI will continuously try to build and fix and run the tasks, etc., to make the application great. Finally, containerized, which means if it's a task, you have to choose that task, but it's an option. You containerize, generate Docker files, and then finally you can ask the agent now deploy to the cloud. This is what we Microsoft think about application modernization. Go from legacy on-prem all the way to the cloud. The important message here for us is, how do we remove technical debt? Before any company wants to think about innovation, they have to consider, how much technical debt do I have? And how do I get rid of that so I can innovate without creating even more technical debt? So that's why using AI for app modernization is a great thing, because we can modernize code to be ready for innovation a lot faster than just piling on and on and on. The links for the tools, and I'll skip the marketing slides. Let's just go back and do a demo. Okay. So this, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask questions. If not, it's okay.
Is it helping with like redesign?
No, it does not redesign architecture.
Yeah, so if your monolithic code base is not gonna suddenly magically.
No,
Yeah,
correct.
okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe if it was designed to be decomposed or something, it might have a shot at it, but I don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't work like that, no.
I didn't think so. Okay, just curious.
Yeah, but there are companies that are looking into that. There is one company called vFunction. It's a startup, and their product is exactly about breaking a monolithic application into a distributed application, into multiple microservices. So they use a little bit of syntax tree analysis and then AI to understand the boundaries of the code and then break it down into modules. And this could be its own service, that could be that own service, and it starts breaking down the application. It is very promising for Spring applications. I'm not so sure about other frameworks, but for Spring applications, it works good. It's called vFunction. Okay, so here I have this Spring Boot application, works fine with Java 8. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do modernization for this project, which is Java 8 and Spring Boot 1.5, right? It's a little bit old, okay? A little bit, I mean more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Peter didn't even have white hair at the time. So let's kill this thing. If I try to run this thing with JDK21, it will not work because the project is not set up. The bytecode can be read by JDK21, but the project, the class path, the way the project is architected and structured won't work because of the new module system in JDK21. Okay. So let's do that. Let's go and modernize this thing. So first thing I can do is run an assessment report. I already have one here ready. And this shows me cloud readiness issues and Java upgrade issues. For cloud readiness, containerization. You should be able to containerize. No Docker file was found. Okay, do you want to run this task? I could run this task and understands the project and creates a Docker file for it. Or Java version. The application is using an old Java version. Let's look at the POM file, 122. Yeah, it's using Java 1.8. That's old. Fair. Right? Oh, it's using an old version of Spring, the low version of Spring Boot. Okay, fair. Some links to documentation that helps upgrade and how to bring those Spring Boot applications to the cloud, perhaps, and so on. So what I'm going to do here is just trigger the extension. And it is a hint. It actually I could have typed this myself. Upgrade Java to Java 21 using the Java upgrade tools. And what it's going to do is it's going to first use AI to understand the project and then come up with an upgrade plan. That plan is based on this prompt here. After it generates the plan, you see it's generating an upgrade plan. There you go. Here's the upgrade plan. And I'm going to review this plan. Okay, upgrade Java to 21, good. Upgrade Spring Boot to 3.3, that's fair.
Yeah.
And oh, it's gonna use a branch. All the changes will go into this branch. That's nice. And here, for each milestone, use the tool upgrade using OpenRewrite. OpenRewrite is this open source project that has recipes and cookbooks for a bunch of changes that you can do in the code at scale. Again, does not use AI. And we want that. We want to not use AI to refactor the code at scale. But we want AI to think for us on what recipes to use and then fix the gaps. Whatever these recipes could not fix, then you want AI to fix the rest. I'll make a change in the plan just to show you that you are in charge. Let me delete this photo. It's confusing things. That I want you to understand that you are in charge of the upgrade plan. So this is the latest. Okay. And I want to do just a minor change to show you and also to speed up the test. I don't want to repeatedly check for security issues. Just check once. So I'm just removing the repeatedly word because that is giving a hint to the LLM to every time they make a little change, they're going to check for CVEs. So I'm removing that to make it faster. And I also don't want to fix medium security issues because let's say my company policy is medium is fine in production. So I don't know. It's just an example. Try to fix as many as possible, but right, there you go. So just critical and high severity CVEs. I saved, and now I go and click allow. So now the Copilot will run this upgrade plan. It will set up a development environment, which means create a branch and then start making those changes in that branch, not in the main branch. After the development environment is set, it will run OpenRewrite and those recipes. After it runs those recipes, it will try to build and test the project. And then any issue that is left over, the agentic AI will try to fix, as we have seen in many demos from many AI companies. So here it is. It's running OpenRewrite. We can look at the log. It's running 2 recipes.
Little known fact, OpenRewrite is a fork of Modern, just started by John Schneider. My father, Spring Boot.
Nice.
I was looking for a hole in the barrier.
Nice.
Let everybody out.
It's amazing, OpenRewrite.
It's a great tool. Yeah.
Really quick.
Yep.
And just show them parts. Just as I gave the pivotal strength and shut up. Good timing, buddy.
Yeah, Modern has they have their own solution for modernization, and it's more server side. You build this portfolio of GitHub repos or Git repos, and then from this web dashboard, you trigger modernization. Our approach for now is more from the developer perspective. I have my project and I want to modernize my project. But we are working with the github.com website team, github.com platform team to have this experience from your repository dashboard using the cloud agents. Okay, so it did run OpenRewrite. So the OpenRewrite made significant changes. It upgraded to Spring Boot 3.3 from Java 8 to Java 21. It added the starter validation dependency. It added a HEMC REST JUnit dependency for testing. I don't know why. It did remove the Commons Lang version 3 and removed the Cobertura Maven plugin, which is deprecated. Nice. It cleaned up my project. But there was an API change, and now instead of using empty set, which is a static variable in collections, it's going to use collections.empty set for the generics return. Okay, build the project, found the CVE. Oh, I need to fix the CVE issue in commons link. So you're gonna update to 3.18 because it found a CVE there. So it's gonna explicitly move to that version.
I think JUnit had some big upgrade in that area.
Yeah.
They dropped the library.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. Okay, so build the project. It's building, it's testing. Let's see, activate the behavior validation tool. Version control. We have this behavior validation tool in the Java upgrade tools, which I cannot tell you exactly what it does, but it should be doing something interesting. There's a test failing. Okay, there you go. The test is failing because when changed to empty set to collections empty set, the behavior should still be the same, but it is not the same. This is interesting. Let's see what it does. So this is, I mean, again, recipes were executed. Now it's AI fixing the last minor little things. The test is still failing. Yeah, questions?
I'm curious, Spring Boot 1 versus Spring Boot 3, there was a major change to Spring Security that I had to rewrite manually back then.
Well, yeah, this project doesn't use Spring Security, so that's why it's a simpler case for a 10-minute demo, right? I do have a project that I did on I'll show you the result. It took me a few hours to modernize an old version of Pet Clinic. I went to Pet Clinic repo and I downloaded, I just got a random commit from 14 years ago. And I was like, I want to modernize this version of Pet Clinic. And it modernized the whole thing, including the JSP front end. So
Yeah.
that was interesting. I'll show you that after I'm done with this.
Sean is saying that there's a OpenRewrite Spring Security recipe.
Oh, there is? Okay, cool. Yeah, OpenRewrite has a big catalog of recipes, and we got as much as it was available on the open source version of OpenRewrite, and we put it in here.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be doing well on the agentic front.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Deshaun, if you're closer to what's going on with OpenRewrite, or if you have any comments, feel free to just drop them in the chat. Or I don't know if we can hear it all.
Well, I can share. So Modern did change the license of OpenRewrite.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rewrite and some.
No, that was Elasticsearch, which AWS did a fork and called OpenSearch. OpenRewrite is from Modern, and yeah. And they changed the license to focus on their commercial offering, which is very fair for the business that they are into. Which means the version that we run on OpenRewrite is the version, right, the last version before the license change, right? So we can embed in this plugin. But it does mean that customers and users and developers can still bring custom versions of recipes and put in the folder of this extension, and then they can become available for the catalog. We don't have that documented yet, but it should be doable.
The question in chat whether OpenRewrite is capable of taking a Python project and magically making it into Java project.
No, OpenRewrite is not about transforming stacks. So when we talk about OpenRewrite or modernization, it's within the stack. But when you talk about Python to Java, Node to Python, .NET to something, no. I know a lot of teams are like, oh, I wish I could convert this Java backend application to a Rust application. So you can do that. You can go and ask the agent to go figure it out and give a few hours and fingers crossed, it will come up with something, right? But then the reality is for Rust example, the amount of knowledge on Rust is very minimal. So the models don't have that knowledge yet. So you have to feed the model with a lot of Rust documentation, examples, etc. And even some comparisons. This is how I would write in Java. This is how I would write in Rust. And then you teach the model that transformation. That gives a lot of hints to the LLM on how it was and how it needs to be.
Surely not ChatGPT. Talking about Sonnet.
The good thing is, I mean, Microsoft just announced the partnership with us, Anthropic across all AI services. Sonnet has been available in GitHub Copilot for a long time. They did announce this week that Claude models are available across all AI services at Microsoft now. Okay, I will go back to JDK 21. I'll see we are in the branch. We're in the branch now. And let's see if it compiles. It is still messing around with something here. I'm not sure what's going on, but let's see if the test pass. Okay, so I'll just keep and stop, and then Maven Spring Boot run.
YOLO.
Okay, so the application is up and running with Spring 3.3 and Java 21. I'm gonna do an HTTP just to call the REST endpoint. Yep, everything seems to work just like before. Okay, so application has been modernized. This is the sort of task that would take a few hours for a senior tech lead engineer. It would take maybe a day or two for a junior engineer, but we did in like, what, 15 minutes, right? Even if it's not perfect, like in this case, it was not perfect. I mean, it failed. But if it saves me 70% of my time, it's still 70% of my time. If I estimate this in 10 weeks, I did it in 3. That's a pretty big deal, right? Okay, now 3.3 is not the latest version of Spring, as many of you may know. What if we did again?
What? Well,
Because it's the version that has it's the latest version that works on Java 17, but then to Spring 3.5 there were some more stronger changes.
Borges drops dead, I think.
Yeah. So using Java upgrade tools, move these to the very latest Spring 3 version. So now I'm going to do a modernization on top of modernized project. Okay, so now it's going to generate a plan to move to Spring 3.5. So same deal, generates the upgrade plan. I'll review that. Yeah, everything seems fine. And it did not ask me to review the plan. Let me take a note. It should have asked. It should have asked.
Exactly, Sean. Exactly.
What did he say?
He said Copilot said LGTM.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, Sean, please pass along congratulations to the Spring Boot team for their release today. Well, yeah, say hi to the usual suspects.
So now this is the interesting part. There is no recipe to go from Spring 3.3 to 3.5. So AI Copilot will not run OpenRewrite, but it will try to do its best by just doing agentic development. So it updated to 3.5, tries to build the project builds, looks for CVEs. Hopefully everything will be fine. And you see the branch changed. The branch did change, yeah, to 337 because it started a new branch out of that other branch. Now, this is the cool thing. Yeah, there will be some failures because I've seen this before. It's going to have to fix one unit test because of Mockito. Yeah, it added this line here. Okay, it worked. Nice. Okay, done. Right. So I saw cases sometimes that the agent will actually go and look at the online documentation. I've seen it in a demo already this morning. It looked at the online documentation to see how to upgrade from Spring 3.3 to 3.5 because the Spring team has an article for that. But in here, it just changed the POM file now and try it first. And if there were to be any other issues with the tests or with the APIs, then it would probably try to go online and see, okay, what else do we need to fix? And then do its job. Okay, so done. We have Spring 3.5 out of a Java 8 project. Let me look at the Spring Pet Clinic. I'll just show it to you. This is the project after modernizing. Okay, we are in a Java upgrade branch. And if we look at the web app, it's all .tag. Where's the web folder? Source, Java, resources, JSP. So it's all JSP interface. And it did upgrade a bunch of things, but not everything. We can see that it's still using tag libs from the old JSTL package. And that's one of the beauties of Java, things that were built in the past, they still work somehow magically. But let's take a look at Maven. Is it Maven Spring Boot Run? So this one I upgraded only up to 2.7, but I asked to make changes to the JSP. And Peter will laugh because he remembers the interface. But this is the new AI-generated interface for Spring Pet Clinic. And it's all JSP. It updated the CSS, but, still works fine. There you go. Okay. But this was a very old version of Spring Pet Clinic from 14 years ago. That was with Spring Boot 1.5 or something like that, with Java 8. And it moved to run with Spring 2.7, with database, with Hibernate, EH cache, and everything. So pretty cool that it was able to do that. Oh, here's the advancements. Okay, Bootstrap 2 to Bootstrap 5, 13-year upgrade. jQuery 2.0 to 3.7, jQuery UI 1.1 to 1.13, old icon classes to a modern Bootstrap icons, table-based layout to modern Flexbox grid. Yeah, this was the log that it produced. Okay, updated the footer, JSP. It was really impressive, the work that the agent did here. A lot of JSP changes. There you go. That's what I had to show you guys. So if you want to try this out, just go to the marketplace on Visual Studio Code or IntelliJ JetBrains Copilot App Modernization. And you do need to have a GitHub Copilot subscription for this. But you can, I think the free trial, the free tier should be doable for a simple Hello World application. And in IntelliJ, as I said, it's also available there. All right, thanks.